Hello again. So, we've just been told once again that we have another 3 weeks of being indoors. And I suppose everyone was expecting it. I was expecting it. I wouldn't expect anything else to be announced. But I must admit, I feel a little bit down about that. Not because it was unexpected, but I suppose the child in me comes out, the whiny child. But I've been good. I've been doing as I was told. And why am I not allowed out? I've been a good girl. I know it's pathetic. It's sad, really. But I think there's a little of that in all of us. A little bit of sadness. We want to be able to earn our way out of lockdown, and we can't. And I suppose that's taken my mind back to childhood days when everything had to be earned, everything was graded, and you knew very well the things that you weren't doing well in. I was never a top of the class academic. I was always in the top groups, but never near the top of the top group, if that makes sense. And especially in things like sport, there were great prizes for achievement in sport. Those who ran furthest and fastest and jumped highest were the ones who were praised in the school. There was that sense of achievement, of being first. I was never first. I could run and I could keep running, but I was never the first. I could run the farthest probably, but everyone had got bored and gone home by then. I was very much a tortoise and never much a hare. And I suppose that lack of sense of achievement has stayed with me, and I imagine I'm probably not alone in that. I want to be able to win. I want to be able to be first. And yet I never was. And nowadays I never do anything competitively, and I think probably part of that is I know that I won't win, I won't be the first. A generation later, schooling was very different, and it was recognised that children needed that sense of achievement. So competitive sport was all but banned, and everyone was applauded for taking part. Wonderful. Except there's no achievement in that either. And nowadays, even nursery school children have a graduation where they dress up, graduate from nursery school into reception classes. That sense of achievement. But what I've been reflecting on, what's been going around in my head, I've got my Bible down here, is that phrase that the Apostle Paul writes in his letter to the Romans. He says, "But God proves his love for us, in that while we were still sinners, Christ died for us." While we were still sinners, whilst we were still doing all the things and saying all the things and thinking all the things that we shouldn't have. There's no sense of achievement in that. In fact, we can't earn that sacrifice of Jesus. Never do I have to feel that I have to come up to a standard, that I have to be the first or the fastest or the best. Because whilst I was still a sinner, Christ, who is God, Jesus, took the decision to die for me, to carry my sins, that I don't have to achieve that salvation for myself. So whilst you're still in lockdown and I'm still in lockdown, and maybe you're feeling like I do or maybe you don't, you don't have to earn your way out of your sinfulness. Whilst you were still a sinner, whilst I was still a sinner, Christ died for me and for you. Keep safe.